If you're just joining us today, we're covering breaking news. CNN founder Ted Turner has died at the age of 87. Turner Enterprises says he died peacefully today, surrounded by his family. The Ohio-born Atlanta-based media maverick known as the Mouth of the South revolutionized television by creating CNN, the first 24-hour cable news network, along with TBS, Cartoon Network, and a broadcast empire that included the Atlanta Braves. He was named Time Magazine's Man of the Year in 1991 and later called CNN the greatest achievement of his life. Turner had revealed he was living with dementia in 2018 and recovered from pneumonia in 2025.